He's had so much going on over the past week, settling back home. It has been a whirlwind over the past couple months. What a summer it has been for this man. He was just on the world famous Late Late Show on RTE on Friday, but with all due respect to the Late Late Show, they don't hold a candle to the MMA Hour. This is the real draw. This is bigger than them all. We are now being joined by the one and only Rowdy Owen Roddy, the world famous striking coach, the man behind the world famous SPG Charlestown video blogs. There he is, that famous hair, Mr. Owen Roddys. Are you there? Yes. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ariel?
I'm doing so great. Look what I have here. Owen, look what I have. Can you see this? I don't know where the camera is. Can you see this right here, my friend? Do you see it?
How'd you get your hands on that?
Are you kidding me? This is exclusive right here, my friend. I would not leave Las Vegas without getting my hands on this. You see this right here, Owen? Look at that. Look at that logo. The Coach Roddy.
I love it.
How much do these go for? 100 a piece?
Coach Roddy. Oh God, that is gas.
Well, thank you.
I look good in it. I must say,
You do.
I look good in that little caricature.
That's right. I appreciate the young man who gave me that in Las Vegas. What a treat it was on Saturday. I thought it was an omen of things to come, but we know how it turned out, and I appreciate you coming on. There's so much to talk to you about. You're back home. You're no longer in Vegas, right? You're back in Ireland.
Yeah, back home, back in sunny Dublin. It's pissing outside, but yeah, I'm happy to be home. Happy to see my kids and my wife, and happy to come down off that high over the past 8 to 10 weeks. You know.
Yeah, that is not a normal life that you were living. I mean, you're in Vegas, you're preparing for this massive fight. To get back into the routine of normal life back home as a father, as a gym owner, as a coach, was that difficult? Did you feel like there was a couple of days where you were just kind of out of it?
Yeah. No, I'm still only getting back into it. Like last week, I came home on Tuesday. I took the rest of the week off, and I'm only starting to get back into it this week. Yeah, it was last week as well. It kind of continued with going on, as you said, the Late Late Show in Ireland and doing interviews and stuff last week. So it's still been a bit hectic, but now I'm going to start to settle back into what I love doing, which is coaching, and obviously being at home with my kids and my wife.
I thought it was really interesting to listen to your comments after the fight and to also kind of study your demeanor, because it was clear to me that you, and I'm just talking about you here, and I know it speaks for the rest of the team, but just studying you were not just there to show up. You truly wanted to win, and you truly thought that you were going to win, and you seemed very disappointed in the result. Happy with Conor, proud of Conor, but disappointed with the result. Do you still feel that way now, or is there a silver lining that you have found? Are you at peace with the result? How would you describe how you feel about the fight?
I am definitely at peace with the result. I'm not happy with the result still, and I don't think I won't ever be happy with the result because we didn't do what we wanted to do. But like obviously the first couple of days, like any loss, your first few days it's very, very hard to take. You go over and over the fight in your head, and you figure out where you went wrong and things you could have done better, and then you hopefully don't make the same mistakes twice. And that's the process that I'm going through, and I'm sure the rest of the team are going through. Obviously, always very, very proud of Conor. Like as I said, the big thing for me is I see what Conor puts in, and I see the amount of effort he puts in. And I mean, once you put it all in, you leave it all in the ring or in the octagon, then you can't ask for more than that. But just the result didn't go our way, which is disappointing.
How would you compare the feeling that you have about this loss to, say, the Nate Diaz fight of a year and a half ago? Because it's a different sport, a different challenge, a huge challenge. Does it feel the same, or do you have different feelings towards it because they're so different?
Yeah, it's definitely similar. Obviously, I was at the forefront. I was kind of put in as the head coach for this one because I'm the striking coach. I was, it's a little bit harder for me to take, But then again, if we had a won, I'd have got more of the joy. So that's the trade-off you get. But it's all losses are the same. It's very hard to take, and that's mainly just because we gave it our all. The whole team did everything that they possibly could to get the win, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
Have you rewatched the fight?
Yeah.
How many times have you watched it?
A lot, to be honest. I've watched rounds of it and the fight in full. I've been watching it almost still every day
Wow.
since. Watched a bit of it today. A video came out with the Conor audio and stuff there. I think it was yesterday, today. I only managed to catch it this morning. Watched that, and yeah, still just analysing and seeing if there's anything I could have done better, and just taking it from there, taking notes and whatnot.
So how do you feel about your performance as a coach, as the lead man, as the first, as they say? Do you feel like you could have done better? How would you assess your own performance?
I felt the game plan that we came up with, and the strategy we had for the first 4 or 5 rounds was really good. I think he kind of was doing well. It was a tight fight, but kind of was landing shots that we worked, and he was landing them often enough, and then, in my opinion, when Mayweather switched it up and became like he kind of walked Conor down, he kept the hands high, elbows in, and just kept walking forward and letting Conor throw the shots on the arms. When we seen that, we hadn't prepared for that. Like, we tried to switch it up from, I think it was around 6 or 7. We're telling Conor, just keep popping 1 or 2 shots. Don't throw more combinations. Keep it like single shots. Enter into the clinch and try and push him backwards. But that should have been done. I should have been aware of a game plan like that from Mayweather, and that probably should have been done in camp. It's hard to change things when you're in mid-fight. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in myself that I didn't predict that he would kind of walk forward, let Conor throw the shots and take them on the arms and try and walk him down. I honestly thought he was going to pop shots, sit back, walk the shoulder roll, walk the Philly shell, and he did play that game for first couple of rounds. Conor was having success with all of that, and then changed it up, and unfortunately I didn't have the stuff in place for that walking them down strategy. Well, that's we learn from that, you know what I mean?
I thought Conor won the first 3 rounds easily. I think you can make a very strong case for round 4 as well. I scored in his favor for whatever that's worth. Did those go as planned? Did those go as perfectly as possible, other than a knockout, of course? Like, could you, in hindsight, look at anything and say, I wish we would have done that, capitalize on this or that in those first 4 rounds?
No. Obviously the big shot didn't land. Some big shots landed, and a credit to Floyd's chin, and he took them well. And I've watched, as I said, I watched hundreds of hours on Floyd, and he rarely gets hit clean, very clean. And he did get clipped clean a good few times in those first 4 rounds, but took the shots very, very well. And that's, when you're fighting for so long, but you're not damaging your chin, which Floyd hasn't damaged his chin. Even when the shots do land clean, you can take them well, because your brain as well has not been damaged over a period of years, So he took the shots well, but all the switches, the work in the body, the lead uppercut, all of those shots that we worked in camp landed, and I was very happy with that. Just the big shot didn't land, the way we wanted it to. And then from round 5 to 7, Floyd, I think, won those. I think we might have got 8 as well. And then 9 and 10, we all know what happened in those.
Credit to Conor. He said afterwards that he did get tired, and that this was something that he tried to battle throughout the camp, where in the middle of the fight, he would think, oh, how am I going to, get to the end? Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? And then towards the end, he sees it and he gets a second win, so to speak. Is this something that you saw as well? And is it a concern for you as he progresses in his career that he is going to continue to hit this rough patch as far as his cardio is concerned?
No. You know what? Look, people are saying, his cardio is this and his cardio is that. Anybody go in and try and fight, 5-round war with Nate Diaz, or, 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. When when it's that intense and you're constantly being pushed back and stuff like that, it doesn't matter how fit you are. It doesn't matter. You know, when you're Floyd from, I think it was, 9 and 10, he managed to get Conor on the back foot for those 2 rounds and kept walking him down. And I know from experience myself that when somebody's constantly pressuring you like that and you don't have a second to get a breath, fatigue sets in really quick. It doesn't matter how fit you are. That just happens. And, it was just, obviously it was hard for Conor to get that breath back and recover. When, we were trying to get him to tie up and push Floyd backwards, and I think it was 9. But we just couldn't get the opportunity. Floyd had good frames and Conor couldn't push him backwards. So Floyd always maintained the front foot and always pushed Conor backwards. And that's very, very hard to deal with. So, if we probably had a better game plan to deal with that, implemented from day one, I think we could have dealt with that better and Conor would have recovered a lot easier.
How did you feel about the stoppage?
I thought about the stoppage a couple of times, and the one shot did land, but then the 2 or 3 afterwards didn't land. But the way I look at it is, the ref is in there to look after the fighters, to protect the fighters. And I honestly think that maybe because it was Conor's first professional boxing fight, the ref, seeing that Conor looked a bit on edge, and I'm sure he was thinking, if Floyd knocked him out and there was some damage to Conor, or he got seriously injured, it would have been all on the ref. So, and then you have the critics saying, "Oh, well, Conor shouldn't have been in there. It was first boxing match. You should have had. You could have got all of this." And I'm sure in the refs' eyes, he thought, "Look, I'm not going to take the risk. He looks wobbly. He looks a little bit on edge. I'm going to call it." And if the ref believes that the fighter is in danger, then the ref will do what he has to do. So, but I definitely think he could have probably gave him a count or something like that. But I don't know. But the ref is only doing he's only trying to protect the fighter. So, leave him to it.
Did you ever consider stopping it?
No.
Okay.
No. I honestly believed Conor looked tired. In that last, just before the ref stopped it, he looked a bit exhausted, but it wasn't. I think there was less than a minute left in the round, and he has got tired in rounds 9 and 10. Not to the extent that he was in the fight, but there's a lot more pressure in the fight, and it was a different fight than what we expected. But he has got tired, and then he gets his minute rest, and he's good to go again. So I was, before the ref stepped in, all I wanted from Conor was I wanted him to pop a shot, clinch, and push Floyd backwards. Or if Floyd popped a shot, slip, clinch, and push Floyd backwards. But obviously it just didn't work out.
How do you react when you hear people say,
Sorry, can you see me okay there?
Yeah, perfect. And thank you again for the time. How do you react when people say, because I'm sure you've heard this, Floyd let him win those early rounds, Floyd let him punch him, he gave those away, he could have toyed with him, he was just making it interesting. What is your reaction to this kind of criticism?
I mean, people can say what they want, but at the end of the day, if you watch the statistics, Conor landed more punches than anybody, than anybody has. So, I mean, Floyd wanted to let him land 111 punches to prove a point. I don't think so. I definitely think from 4 or 5 up, he brought the hands high, elbows in, and let Conor, throw shots at him, and he took them on the arms and stuff like that. But for the first 4 or 5 rounds, I honestly believe that Conor was outboxing him, and that's what forced him to switch it up. People will have their opinion, and people will say what they want, but that's my belief.
Okay. The other belief is, and I subscribe to this notion as well, is that Conor represented MMA well, that everyone was a winner, that even though he didn't win, he exceeded expectations, and that he fought his butt off, and that he actually, he brought out the best in Floyd, that Floyd actually owes him a debt of gratitude, that he gets to ride off into the sunset with this finish, and that people are talking nicely about him, and the stain that was the Pacquiao and Berto fight to a degree is kind of washed away now. Do you feel like that's a little bit more of an accurate description of the performance of the night, that MMA won, that boxing won, that everyone won?
That. Yeah, like, I mean, I definitely believe that everybody that was there that night experienced an unbelievable bout between two, unbelievable fighters. It was very, very exciting. As I said, at the first, 4 or 5 rounds, I felt we won, and then he changed the strategy, came back, switched it up, started taking the latter rounds and stuff. The crowd was on Conor's side. The crowd was on Floyd's side. It was an unbelievable fight, and we definitely seen a different Floyd Mayweather. Like, we didn't see the same defensive guy that we were used to watching. A guy that sits back and just wins a round by 1 shot or 2 shots. He had a great game plan. His team had a great game plan as well. And I think it was an unbelievable bout for both. Obviously, you'll never be happy with a loss, but you can definitely appreciate what Conor's done. And one thing I think that, kind of, win, lose or draw, he always comes out better because he's very, very honest in himself and very humble in with his wins and his losses. And he gave the credit to Floyd. He talks very highly of Floyd. He was honest with how he felt the fight went. And I mean, you can't not like that. You know what I mean? That's why Conor who he is. He's an amazing character when he wins. He's an amazing character when he loses. He's honest. He'll always show up. These are characteristics that very, very few people have. So.
Is it true that there was a bit of a crisis right before the fight where he couldn't find his cup and someone had to go try to find it? Did this happen?
Yeah, I think his cup was left at home by accident, but there was no issue really. There was an issue for a couple of minutes, but the fight beforehand, the Davis fight, went late, so we came. We had all our equipment when we needed it, but for a few minutes, we were a little bit panicky. nothing serious, not major.
And what was it like cornering a fight of that magnitude, wearing that outfit? I mean, what an outfit! The sharpest dressed corner in the history of combat sports.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, obviously David August hooked us up with our attire. We looked the business. It was very, very warm in there, so I was sweating to bits. But it wasn't as functional as it was fashionable. But this is fashion as well. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it was great. They looked the part. The waistcoat with Conor's logo going on the back was amazing. But it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Have you had a chance to step? I mean, like, I know you're kind of immersed in it, and we talked about smelling the flowers beforehand. But now, like, are you, despite the loss, will you be able to look back on this experience with fondness that you were a part of one of the biggest fights in history and watch it with, a smile on your face? Do you think that will be possible, or because you didn't win, it kind of ruins the whole journey in hindsight?
No. Look at me. I mean, I've cornered guys with many wins and losses as well. I appreciate the whole experience. It was unbelievable, and as I said, there's very, very few people on this planet that get to partake in something so historic. That has to be a losing side. Unfortunately, it was us this side, but most definitely I'll be proud of what I done. As I said, all I ever said I could do was give my very best, 100%, and I feel I did that. I feel the team did that. I feel Conor most definitely did that. And when you can honestly say that to yourself, then you know what I mean. Win, lose or draw, you have to be happy with what you've done, and the experience, walking out. Just the magnitude of what we were involved in. I'll cherish forever. Along with all the other ones that I've done as well. Like, as I said, I've had since Conor signed with the UFC, the last 4 years of my life have been, unbelievable, and there's so many memories that I'll cherish, and this most definitely at the moment is the biggest one, and I'm just excited for the next.
Okay, perfect segue, because this is the big one. Everyone wants to know now what's next. If Conor McGregor comes to you, and what a great segue that was on your part. Well done. He says, Owen, what do I do? What should I do next? What do you suggest? What's the answer? What do you want to see him do next?
I mean, as I said, I to be honest, I don't know. What I would probably like to see maybe Diaz 3, but obviously you've got Ferguson and Lee fighting for the interim belt. So obviously if he's to fight MMA again, it would probably have to be against the winner of that. The reason I say, just in my opinion, the reason I say Diaz is because those fights are so exciting. The build up is so exciting. The back and forth is there's nothing like it. It's just a mad scene. Like the two fights against Diaz was probably the most exciting camps that I've been part of. And to do that again, it would be unbelievable. I'd honestly say that the fans, I think, would like that over everything else. But I've said this to you before, Ariel. I don't know what's next, and I know it'll be crazy. Anyway.
So does that mean though that you would prefer to see him fight in MMA next?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for that Diaz fight, I would like, if I was to pick MMA, I would definitely like to see the Diaz fight. Boxing, who knows? I don't know. I seen today there was talk about fighting. He was asked to fight in Australia against the lad that beat Pacquiao.
Jeff Horn.
Horn.
Yeah.
Jeff Horn. Who knows? Like, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable spectacle, whatever Conor does,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But, I mean, I like the idea of that Diaz fight. But I'm sure if it doesn't happen next, I'm sure it's down the line, And
I'm sure you want to see him fight Paulie Malignaggi, right?
Seen that already.
Right.
Seen that twice.
Right, fair enough.
And it was easy work.
Do you think that he will fight again this year?
I'd like to think so, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? There's nothing. I can only talk. I can only speak when I'm told, okay, we're about to sign on this, or we're about to sign on that. So, and until I see that, I can't really comment. Yeah, what? For me, I'd like to see him fight as often as he likes to fight, because it's just an unbelievable adventure. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to go wherever he wants to go. I'm happy to do whatever he wants to do. If he wants to take time off, we take time off. If he wants to go again, we go again. I've always been behind Conor in whatever decision he makes, and I'll be behind him for the next one, most definitely.
Do you feel like he has a career in boxing, though? Do you feel like this is something that he should pursue?
I definitely feel he has. Yeah, I definitely feel like, looking at those first 4 rounds and looking at him landing on probably one of the, if not the best defensive boxer on the planet, and possibly of all time, to see him, land more shots than anybody has landed. That's a testament to his skill, and I think everybody can agree that his boxing skills that night were unbelievable and on par, if not better than most professional boxers. So a boxing career is definitely there. I know. I remember him saying, like, the boxing game is easy in regards to, he doesn't have to deal with so much other stuff, kicks and knees and takedowns and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely think he could do whatever he wants. I'm sure if he said, I'd like to fight this bloke in a boxing match, everybody would be happy to see it, and everybody would tune in once again.
2 last quick things. What was your favorite part of the entire experience? Is there a moment that sticks out for you?
In the camp?
Just everything.
In the fight,
could be before, after. Is there, when someone says to you, Mayweather, McGregor, your experience, is there a moment that will define it in your mind, that will always stick out?
I definitely think the whole the world tour was just. I've never seen that or experienced that like that in my entire life, and I don't think anybody did. Like each world tour was like a fight in itself. Like my adrenaline was pumping when we were walking out and we were on stage, and they were, Conor and Floyd were going at it nearly, and then his crew were going at it, and we were going at it, and the crowd was insane. And then you're onto a private jet and you fly across to another country, and it's more of the same but just crazier. It was insane, and it was just that world tour. That week was just the craziest week in my life. I just experienced so much, like flying around on private jets. We were driving over the Brooklyn Bridge in a drop top Rolls Royce, just on a random day. Like who gets to do stuff like that? I remember actually going across that bridge, and one of the lads, Jerry Bourne, said to me, he says, like, "Do you ever have one of those moments, Roddy, where it's like you can't believe what you're actually doing?" I says, "I'm having one right now." I says, "We're on the Brooklyn Bridge in a Rolls Royce, cruising, like just it was unbelievable." And every camp and every camp of Conor, you go on, you have these experiences that you would have never even dreamt of, if you weren't part of his team.
Yeah, that is a day in the life of Conor McGregor. And finally, my colleague Sean Al-Shadi wrote a story on you right before the fight. I think it's one of the best pieces that I've ever read as far as sports writing is concerned.
And it made me cry.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know, what was it like for you to read about your career like that, in those words, the way he paints pictures?
There's loads of onions. There's loads of onions in this room, Ariel. Sorry. Honestly, so Sean has been working on that for well over a year, and I've been in contact with him a couple of times, and then just before a week or two before the fight, he rang me and had a chat with him, and he told me who he'd been speaking to. And I was like, whoa, Jesus, fair play, man. You really done a background check on me, and you've really looked into my whole career. And then I read the piece, and basically what I got from it, I just felt like it felt like me, to be honest, telling my own story. And I think that's amazing for a writer to be able to do that. Like I read it through, and I was like, some of the, obviously talks about some of my highs and obviously the lows in my career, and then the highs again, and it was unbelievable. What an amazing writer. And I'm as I said to Sean, I says, like, that's a piece of writing that I'll cherish forever, and I'll give to my kids, and they'll give to their kids, I think. And to remember what my career was like and what I've done in the sport of mixed martial arts. So something like that is priceless, and I'll always be forever indebted to Sean for taking the time and doing what he done.
Well, you certainly deserve it, my friend. It was a great read, and I felt like I was getting to live through all those. I wasn't around for that run, but just to read it, it felt like you were telling us the story and we were living it with you. So what a great treat that was, and I'm happy to see and hear that you were getting the respect and attention that you certainly deserve. Well done, my man. Even though it didn't go your way, and I know you're upset about that, you handled it all with class, and even in defeat afterwards, you did the same. It was a real treat for me professionally to cover this last 2.5 months alongside you guys throughout the tour and everything, and see the way you guys prepared for it all. So I really appreciate you coming on after. I know you probably want to shut down and stop talking about this for a little bit with the media, but it means a lot that you would come on and talk to us.
You, Ariel. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and best of luck to you in the next adventure, and we'll see you down the line in the very near future, I hope.
Much appreciated. All right, bye now.
All right, there he is. Thank you. Owen Roddys stopping by. Great stuff from him. Always appreciate his time. And certainly if you missed that piece, if you did not read that piece from Sean Al-Shadi, I very much urge you to go check it out.